Would you love to have your business, your ministry, have a solid brand so you are remembered, so that people are drawn to you and opportunities are constantly coming your way? Well, that business brand is totally possible for you. And there's something that you need, though, to have in your style in order for those opportunities, collaborations, um, impact that you want to have happen. And that is consistency. And unfortunately, so many times, even women that think that they have a strong brand are inconsistent with their style and their brand. Why is consistency so important? Well, a couple different reasons. Number one is that consistency builds trust. So I want you to think about a person that you really love and you're close to. There's probably some characteristics about that person that they show frequently, consistently, that makes you admire them. Imagine if all of a sudden they kind of went away and you saw them a couple times a year and every other week they had a different characteristic. Well, you'd have a hard time trusting them, right? Because you wouldn't know what characteristic they're going to bring out this week. And that's what can happen when you aren't consistent with in your business and aligned with your brand, consistently showing your brand through your style. People aren't going to know what your business is all about, what it stands for. They're going to wonder, and that's going to lead them to think, well, if they're inconsistent in this area, how can they consistently help clients they get, right? So you want to be consistent in your style to show, hey, you can trust me. I show up this time after this time after this time, being consistent. You know what to expect from both me and my business. You know what my business stands for. You know what its values are for. So you need consistency to build trust so that people are willing and wanting to work with you. Now, secondly, is so that you can create a strong brand. And not only that, but even more quickly. So there's something called the exposure effect. And basically, it's after 3 to 5 times of someone seeing something or someone, and they see the same or similar things, it creates remembrance in their brain. They become familiar to it. So when you are consistent in your style and are brand aligned, people will start remembering who you are. You will get set apart as, oh yeah, that is Nikki that does style. So your brand is going to be growing stronger as, how many thousands of people see you and create that exposure effect happens and really start to remember you and understand you. And the right people are going to be attracted to learn more about you and possibly eventually work with you, right? So we need consistency in our style. And it needs to be consistent in two different areas. It needs to be consistent in what we're wearing, and it also needs to be consistent in aligning with our brand. So let's break it down to seasons. When you want to be consistent in your style for the seasons. Now, overall, throughout the whole year, you want some consistency, but especially during like a good chunk of time. So you can get that exposure effect and you can become really familiar to them. Because I will not say that your style has to be boring and you have to wear the same things all the time. But there's an element of new and staying fresh and some things that you do want to be really consistent on. Put them together so that you're really building that remembered, trusted brand. So, something that I teach, part of my method in when I create a curated closet, brand aligned closet for female ministry leaders or female entrepreneurs, is we come up with a color palette that we're going to use for one season. We may change it a little bit the next season, but it needs to align with the branding and what you want to speak and communicate. So that's aligned, right? Because everything you wear is sending a communication, it's sending words, it's sending messages. Style is its own form of communication. So I create a custom color palette. And so usually 4 to 5 colors. And so as they are consistent in wearing those colors, that's bringing that familiarity and trust. And it may vary, we might change up some colors the next season, but when you are wearing those consistent colors, people are going to become more familiar and trust you. Also, even just with patterns, wearing maybe floral pattern is great for brand alignment and what you love to wear. And so incorporating flower patterns. Now, they may look very differently. They may incorporate different colors and stuff, but having even just like one flowered patterned shirt in your closet each season is going to bring consistent and familiarity, and they're going to point that to your brand and who you are, and you're going to really create a really strong remembrance just with that. So, you want to be consistent in what you're wearing, still have variety, still try new things, but especially during each season, create familiarity. And then you want to be consistent in, like I said, styles of communication. So you want to make sure that every piece that you are wearing is being consistent and aligned with your brand. So, what does this look like? It means that your pieces are showing off your personality and showing off your business or ministry's values and personality, and are speaking also what your clients need, depending on your industry and what type of clients they are, too. Is it, more of your everyday entrepreneur, maybe your coach that coaches other entrepreneurs? Is it people just getting started, or these like elite ones? You want to make sure that you're brand aligned and consistent in showing up, if you have those elite customers, showing up in a way that they are going to be looking for to see you as the expert. Now, I wanted to show you a way, just an example of being consistent, both, like I said, in what you wear and then having it being aligned with your brand. So today I have on this beautiful shirt it has flowers on it. And I showed you this other top from my closet. So here is an example of something that I like to incorporate a lot is flowers in my style. Now they may look a little different depending on the season and the trends and colors that I am currently wearing, but it's just creating exposure to flower, that exposure, multiple exposure. And so as I'm wearing different flowered things, that's going to become part of my brand and what I am known for. So here we have, similarities, flower, pattern flower, a little different, but the same thing. And then let's see. And you can kind of see also these flowers have some like jewels on it. And so here's another pattern shirt. And you can see the similarities of jewels both on this and this. And so consistency, jewels, different ways, a little different colors, but we're bringing familiarity and that multiple exposure so that I'm creating a strong brand in people's minds and they probably don't even realize it. But if you do this well, you can get to the point of literally people walking in a store, seeing a flowered thing, and think, oh, that reminds me of something that Nikki would wear from Nikki Henrichs Image Consulting. That is how strong the impact of style has. Them like seeing certain things and remembering you and you alone, even when there's how many others in your industry and expertise. Okay, so that's just an example of how consistency with like patterns and things on your clothes. Now, let's talk about consistency and how it's brand aligned. So, let's talk about we have the flowers. Now, I do love flowers. I love pretty things. And so that aligns with my personal brand, which brand alignment is made up of two different things, your personal brand and your business or ministry brand. So you want both of those incorporated into all of your outfits. So my personal brand, something that I like, is I love flowers and pretty things. So having these flowers is going to show off a little bit of my personality to people. Now, also with my business brand, um, a couple of the words are calm, nature. And so having these flowers on here sends the message of not only my personal brand, but also my business brand out when people see me. And like I said, in both of these cases, this shirt's kind of saying lots of multiple things, which is awesome. With these jewels, like I said, I like pretty things. And two, I want to show a hint of luxury and elegance in both that's part of my personality and business brand. And so just these little crystals show that off. Having a brand aligned style is, sure, we could say an option. It's an optional business tool. But if you want to have a super strong brand to be known and stand apart from others in your industry, to create that attraction to people that are like honestly looking for you, and you're able to show that through your style so you don't even have to say a word and they're already going to be attracted to you. Or maybe people that don't know exactly who they want to work with, but as they see your style, see your personality, they're like, "Yep, she is the one that I need to help me." If you want to draw your best clients in, if you want to stand apart, if you want to create a super big and solid brand, and with God, nothing's impossible. Who knows the limit of how big your brand can go? You need to be intentional with everything, and that includes aligning your style with your brand, your personal and your business brand. Well, until next time, know that I am cheering you on in your style.